There is no door to push, no lock to protect you, no wall shields you from the wind, no glass softens the cruel light of the sun. All you have is flesh, the hides, the bones of beasts you've hunted, and instinct. You wake with a dry mouth, and skin dusted in fine earth. Your body is one with the land, the shelter, if it can be called that, is a crack in the rock where the wind whistles like an old shaman praying to the gods of cold. The roof is shadow, the floor is sharp stone, and comfort is a lie buried with the weak in the age where you awaken. Survival is measured by simple mercies, a dry corner, a fire that doesn't die before dawn, the warmth of another body. Caves are precious, fought over like sacred territory, not for luxury, but for need. They hide you from predators, muffle the hiss of slicing rain, shield you from the spear-point winds descending from the mountains. But not all are so lucky. When stone is far, you improvise. You remember the elder of the tribe saying, when the world was only ice and hunger, bones became wood, and skins became walls. So you build your shelter from twisted branches, tied with dry deer tendons. You line it with skins, stitched with thorns, glued with fat. The smell is of hot death, of aged meat, of survival. The shelter breathes with you, creaks with the wind, weeps with the rain. It is not safe, it never is. But it is what there is in the north, where ice bites to the bone. Hunters dig into snow like wolves. They carve with their hands, with shards of flint. The cold is a silent enemy, one that does not scream but whispers until it snuffs out the soul's flame. There the house is a white cocoon, muffled, held up by silence and hope in the south, where the sun scorches the cracked earth and skin peels like old clay. Shelter is shade and breeze, skins stretched between stakes, shallow pits in the ground, covered with wide leaves, all to escape the burn, the scorpion, the fever that climbs like invisible fire. You hide from the light like a nocturnal beast. Each region forges a shelter in its own tongue. The climate sets the law, the land provides the tools, but everywhere, the primitive house is no home. It is a trench, a refuge from erasure. It is the dry womb of Mother Earth, where you curl like a fetus in the brutality. And yet, even there, even among thorns, mud, and bone, you feel it. A spark, the nesting instinct, the urge to protect, to store, to return, as if even before the idea of home, there was already the ancestral desire to belong somewhere, even if just for one night before the next hunt. This is your house. Today now, a heap of skins, branches, and hope. The roof does not hide your fear, but it shelters your faith. You do not build to thrive. You build to delay death. Each piece of your shelter is a negotiation with nature's indifference. A bone used as a brace, a pelt stretched taut against the wind's sharp teeth, mud smeared thick to seal the cold away. You do not decorate, you insulate. The wall is not art, it is armor. You crouch beneath it, listening to the night breathe, heavy and wet, full of things with claws and eyes that shine. Your dwelling is not a place to rest. It is the line between prey and predator. When storms come, they do not knock, they crash, they howl and tear. Rain slashes the hides you've bound together, and every gust threatens collapse. You press your back to the frame, feel it groan with the weight of sky rage. Water seeps in any way, cold fingers down your spine. You learn the leaks, the weak points. You repair in silence, in haste, with hands that bleed and do not hesitate. Survival does not allow delay. You live close to the fire, not for comfort, but because it is the only thing the dark fears. Sparks rise into smoke-blackened ceilings, and your eyes burn. But that sting is a gift. It means you're alive. The others huddle near too, faces hollow with hunger, eyes wide with exhaustion. No one speaks. Language is a luxury. Breath is the only proof of life. Sometimes you find remains of those who failed, collapsed shelters half swallowed by time, bone fragments, shredded hides. You study them, not with pity, but with intent. What did they do wrong? What can be stolen from their ruin? You take the lessons, the bones, the parts that still hold purpose. You carry them back like treasure in your bones. You begin to know what makes a shelter hold. Not strength alone, but give. A hut must bend with the wind, not fight it. It must weep with the rain, not defy it. The earth is not your enemy, but she does not care if you live, so you learn. Her rhythms, you learn where to build and where to avoid. Under trees that groan means death. On flat ground that floods means burial. You begin to see the shelter as an extension of your own flesh. You patch it as you would stitch a wound. You wrap it tighter when the wind moans. You sit inside and feel its pulse match yours. This is not a house, it is your exoskeleton dot, and yet there is beauty in the ash patterns on the stone, in the curve of a bent branch that once held a bird's nest, in the animal scent of a shed hide. It is not comfort, but it is meaning, and meaning is rare here, where most things vanish by morning. You do not know if it will stand another night. You never do. But as you curl beside the fire and the hide flaps rattle above you, you feel something ancient and unnameable, a whisper beneath fear, a kind of love not for the shelter itself, but for what it defends, your breath, your blood, your fire, your dream of a place not carved by fear, a space born not of desperation, but of intention. But when morning comes, dreams die quick. The smoke of your fire fades into the grey dawn, and the wind creeps in. Searching for weakness, you rise. You check the bindings, the walls, the roof. Your fingers are stiff with cold and work. Each movement is a ritual, a prayer in action. You have no gods but survival, no saints but your own memory. You recall which lashings held and which tore. You improve them. Slowly, your shelter becomes smarter than you. It knows the wind better, the angles of the sun, the weight of rain. Children are born inside these walls. They do not cry like city infants. They grunt, they shiver, they breathe steam. Their first ceiling is hide and bone. Their lullaby is the crackle of fire and the whisper of danger just outside, and still they sleep. Because even the rawest hut, if it stands, offers peace. You teach them to repair, to tie knots, to see. Rot, you teach them the difference between shade and shadow. You show them how to build without comfort, only purpose. The house is not a cradle, it is a training ground. One day, they will walk out with a bundle of skins and build their own. Fight against the night, and still the world shifts. Forests recede, rivers dry, animals migrate. Your shelter moves with them. You dismantle it, piece by piece, and carry it on your back, a snail with your life strapped tight. You build again on new ground, under new stars. The shelter is no longer just place, it is persistence. There will come a time when someone finds your abandoned frame, a future you will never meet. They will see the marks of your struggle, the way the bones were braced, the soot on the stones, the groove where your back once rested. Maybe they will learn from it, maybe they will burn it for heat, but for now, it stands, fragile, impermanent, holy, because in this life, the shelter is not a house, it is your story, written in sinew, smoke, and earth, and as long as it holds, so do you.